Right, welcome to the solution to exercise 5-6 located on page 198. We've got pure form incorporated, got some data here. Okay, assume the company uses the weighted average method, blah, blah, blah. Prepare a quantity schedule and a computation for equivalent units for the month. Number 2, it says determine the cost per equivalent unit for the month. And number 3 talks about the FIFO method, which we are not going to do in this course and problem, so you can ignore requirement number 3. Okay, so let's start with requirement number 1, and again we're looking at physical units. Beginning work in process was 5,000 units. Units started 45,000. So completed and transferred out. $42,000, which means ending work in process has to be 8,000. Okay, and for we got 3 categories: materials, labor, and overhead, not just materials and conversion. So why would we have 3 instead of 2? Well, we would do this when labor and overhead costs are incurred at different points in the production process, and when they're expensive enough that the difference between separating them out and lumping them together is significant. So all it really means is we got 3 columns here, right? We got a direct materials, direct labor, and overhead, all of which are under the umbrella of equivalent units. Okay, so completed and transferred out is going to be 42,000 for all, because they're finished, so they're 100% complete, right? It's the ending work in process we want to look at, and we are told ending work in process 75% complete as to materials. So 75% of 8,000 is $6,000. Sorry, 6,000 units rather. 50% complete as to processing. So presumably, if they say processing, they mean both labor and overhead, and therefore 50% of 8,000 is 4,000. Okay, so adding these guys up to get equivalent units of production, 48,000 and 46,000 and whoa, interesting. Okay. All right, cost per equivalent unit. So we've got now dollars. Beginning work in process, and we are told $4,500 worth of materials, $1,250 worth of labor, and $1,875 overhead. So costs added, I guess we can cross add these, and that would give us $7,625. Costs added in the month, $52,800 for materials, 21.5 for labor, and 32.250 for overhead. So if we add these guys up, 57,300, 22,750, and 34,125. Probably put dollar signs in there just so we know we're talking dollars, not units. All right, cross out across the top here, 106,550. 114,175, and now we can throw in the equivalent units and get cost per EU. So 48,000. 46,000 and 46,000. So 1.194, 0.495, 0.742, add all of these guys up, and you end up with 2.431. Okay. And it does not ask us to do cost reconciliation, so that concludes the exercise.